The Galactic Armada arrived on the sixth day. They came out of hyperspace like a wall of metal and fire. 50,000 ships stretched across the darkness of space. Their formation was perfect. Their weapons were charged. They expected this to be easy. High Commander Velthos stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Divine Judgment. He was tall and thin, with gray skin and 4 eyes that saw in every direction. He had commanded the Armada for 200 years. He had destroyed 8 civilizations. Humans would be the 9th. Status report, he demanded. Commander Riella checked her instruments. She was younger than Velthos, with blue skin and nervous hands. The human fleet is hiding behind Mars, Commander. 3,000 ships. Mostly old designs. Their weapons are primitive compared to ours. Velthos made a sound of disgust. Primitive creatures. They should have accepted their fate. Instead, they choose to die fighting. Send the first wave. 10,000 ships. Crush them quickly. I want this finished before the next cycle. The first wave moved forward. 10,000 warships, each one larger than anything humans had ever built. They flew in perfect formation, guided by the Armada's central network. Every ship knew exactly where every other ship would be. Their coordination was flawless. Admiral Park watched them come. His hands were calm on the command console. Wait, he told his fleet. Let them get closer. Let them think we are afraid. Captain Li Ji-1 gripped her chair. The enemy ships filled her screen. So many of them. Her heart was pounding, but she kept her voice steady. Weapons ready, she told her crew. Wait for the Admiral's signal. The Armada's first wave passed through the asteroid belt. They were confident. Their sensors showed the human fleet was not moving. The primitive species was frozen with fear. This would be simple. Then Park gave the order. Now, 200 human ships burst from hiding spots inside the asteroids. They had shut down all power for 3 days, floating like dead rocks. The Armada's sensors had missed them completely. Now they struck from behind. What is this? Velthos shouted. Where did they come from? The hidden ships fired everything they had. Missiles, energy beams, kinetic rounds. The Armada's rear ships exploded before they could turn around. 600 enemy vessels died in the first 30 seconds. But that was not the real attack. While the Armada focused on the hidden ships, the main human fleet moved. They came around Mars at full speed, using the planet's gravity to accelerate. G1 ship, the Brave Star, led the charge. Fire at will. Park commanded. Lieutenant Rude Sam launched her missiles. She had modified them herself, adding extra fuel and smaller warheads. They were faster than anything the Armada expected. They slipped through the enemy shields and detonated inside the ships. 3 Armada carriers exploded. Then 5 more. Then 20. Velthos could not believe what he was seeing. How? These are primitives. How are they doing this? Sub-Commander Riella studied the battle data. Her blue skin was pale with shock. They're ships, Commander. They are different than we thought. They can break apart and reform. Our targeting systems cannot track them properly. When we aim for one ship, it becomes 3 smaller ships. When we destroy the small ones, they combine into larger ships again. It was a trick. A simple trick, really. Human engineers had designed modular ships that could separate and reconnect in seconds. It was chaotic. It was messy. It was very, very human. The Armada's first wave lost 2,000 ships in the first hour. They had expected no losses at all. On the Brave Star, the crew was fighting hard. Navigator Wang Junxiao flew the ship through explosions and debris. His hands moved so fast they blurred. Enemy ship on our left. Another one above us. I see them, G1 said calmly. "The Psalm, can you hit them both?" The Psalm smiled. It was not a nice smile. "Watch me." She fired 2 missiles at once. One went left. One went up. Both hit their targets. 2 enemy ships became fire and dust. "Good shooting," Engineer No Young Chol said from his station. "But we have a problem. Our port engine is damaged. I can fix it, but I need 5 minutes. "You have 2, G1 told him. "Make it work." Young Chol ran to the engine room. He was not a tall man, but he was clever. His hands found the broken parts without thinking. He stripped wires, rerouted power, and held broken connections together with tape and prayer. "Done," he shouted. G1 pushed the throttle forward. The brave star surged ahead, dodging enemy fire. All around them, human ships were fighting and dying. But they were also winning. Somehow, impossibly, they were winning. After 3 hours, the Armada's first wave retreated. They had lost 2,000 ships. Humans had lost 400. It was not even close. Valthos stood in silence on his bridge. His 4 eyes blinked slowly. He had never lost a battle. He had never even come close to losing. Now, against primitives, against creatures who had barely discovered space travel, he had suffered his worst defeat. How? He whispered. Rila spoke carefully. She knew Valthos's temper. "The humans are not what we expected, Commander. They are creative, unpredictable. Our tactics are based on order and coordination. Theirs are based on chaos and adaptation. They change their plans in the middle of battle. They take risks that no rational species would take. They are insane. Perhaps, but they are winning." Valthos turned to face her. "No, they won a small battle. They have not won the war. Order the full fleet to advance. All 50,000 ships. No more games. No more testing. We will crush them with pure numbers. They cannot defeat mathematics." Riella hesitated. "Commander, perhaps we should study them more. Learn their tactics. Find their weaknesses." "They are humans," Valthos snarled. "They are weak, short-lived creatures from a small planet. They have no weaknesses we need to find. They have only luck. And luck runs out." The full armada began to move. 48,000 remaining ships formed a massive wall of destruction. They would sweep across the battlefield and destroy everything in their path. Admiral Park received the report. He nodded slowly. "Sir," Colonel Beeksumin said, "they are sending everything. All of them. We cannot survive that." "I know," Park said. "But we hurt them today. We showed them we are not easy prey. That matters. What do we do now?" Park looked at the approaching fleet. So many ships. So much death coming their way. His fleet had already given more than anyone expected. But it was not enough. It would never be enough. "We fall back," he said finally. "We retreat to Earth's orbit. We use our home as a shield. And we prepare for the next phase." "Next phase?" Park smiled. It was the smile of a man who had one more card to play. "Our scientists have been working on something. A weapon. It is not ready yet. But if we can hold them for 3 more days, it might be." The human fleet began its retreat. They had won the first battle. They had proven they could fight. But the real war was just beginning. And the odds were still impossible. On the Brave Star, Captain Li Ji-1 looked at her tired crew. Jun Seo was sleeping at his station. The Somme was counting their remaining missiles. Young Cho was already back in the engine room, fixing things that might break later. "Good work today," Ji-1 told him. "Rest while you can. There is more fighting ahead." Young Cho's voice came through the speaker. "Captain, do you think we can really win this?" Ji-1 thought about it. She thought about Earth. She thought about her parents in Jeju. She thought about all the people who were counting on them. "I think we have to try," she said. "And sometimes, trying is enough." The stars was silent. The battle was paused. But everyone knew it was not over. It was only the beginning. The warning came at midnight. Every screen on Earth went dark for 3 seconds. Then the message appeared. It was simple. It was terrifying. Humanity has been judged. The sentence is extinction. You have 7 days. Admiral Park Tae-ho stood in the command center of Earth's defense fleet. He was 62 years old. His hair was gray. His eyes were tired. But his hands were steady as he read the message again. "How many ships?" he asked. Colonel Baek Soo-min pulled up the scanner data. Her fingers moved fast across the controls. She was young, only 35, but she was the best tactical officer in the fleet. 50,000 warships, Admiral. They dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of our solar system. They are holding position near Neptune. 50,000. Park closed his eyes for a moment. Earth had 3,000 ships. Most of them were old. Many of them were held together with hope and spare parts. This was not a battle. This was an execution. "Who are they?" Park asked. "The Galactic Armada," Soo-min answered. "A coalition of 12 alien species. They call themselves the Keepers of Order. They've destroyed 17 civilizations in the past 1,000 years. Species they considered dangerous." Park walked to the window. Outside, he could see Seoul. The city lights sparkled like stars on the ground. 8 billion people lived on Earth. 8 billion lives that depended on him and his fleet. "Why us?" he asked quietly. "We have barely left our own solar system. We are not a threat to anyone." Soo-min hesitated. "Sir, I found something in our intelligence files. Do you remember the Velen incident? 3 years ago?" Park remembered. A human exploration ship had found an alien vessel in trouble. The ship belonged to the Velen, a peaceful species. Their life support was failing. A human engineer named Kim Hana had crossed into their ship. The radiation was lethal. Everyone knew she would die. But she saved their crew anyway. 37 aliens lived because one human gave her life. "What about it?" Park asked. "The Velens talked," Soo-min said. "They told other species what happened. How a human walked through death to save strangers. The story spread. It changed. By the time it reached the Galactic Council, humans had become something else in their minds. What do they think we are?" Soo-min looked at him. "They think we are monsters, Admiral. They believe we cannot be killed. They think we feel no fear. The Council decided that a species like that is too dangerous to exist. They voted for our extinction before we could grow strong enough to threaten them." Park laughed. It was a bitter sound. "They want to kill us because we are too good at staying alive?" "Yes, sir." The door opened. General Cho Myung-ki entered. He was the commander of Earth's ground forces. A big man with a loud voice. He was also Park's oldest friend. They had fought together for 30 years. "The World Council wants to talk about surrender," Myung-ki said. His voice was heavy. Park turned. "Surrender? Some of them think we should try. Send a message. Tell the Armada we are not a threat. Promise to stay in our solar system forever. Maybe they will let us live." Park was quiet for a long moment. Then he shook his head. "They will not accept surrender, Myung-ki. They are not here to conquer us. They are here to erase us. You cannot negotiate with someone who believes you should not exist. Then what do? We cannot win. You know that." "No," Park agreed. "We probably cannot win. But we can fight. We can make them remember us. We can make them bleed so badly that they will think twice before they judge another species." Myung-ki stared at him. "You want to fight a war we cannot win?" I want to show them what humans are made of. If we must die, we die standing, not on our knees, not begging for mercy that will never come. The World Council meeting lasted 6 hours. Leaders from every nation argued and shouted. Some wanted to surrender. Some wanted to run. A few suggested sending all human knowledge into deep space, so something of their civilization would survive. Park waited. He let them talk. He let them be afraid. Fear was natural. Fear was human. Then he stood and spoke. They fear us, he said. That is why they sent 50,000 ships. That is why they did not send ambassadors or negotiators. They looked at humanity and saw something that scared them. A species that will walk through fire to save a stranger. A species that refuses to quit. They are right to be afraid. The room went silent. If we surrender, they will kill us anyway. They came here to end us. But if we fight, if we show them what humans can do when their backs are against the wall, we might do something more than survive. We might make them understand that some species are not meant to be conquered. And if we lose? The Chinese Premier asked. Park smiled. It was not a happy smile. Then we lose. But the galaxy will remember. Every species out there will know that humanity did not go quietly. They will tell stories about the humans who stood against impossible odds. And maybe, just maybe, that will matter. The vote was close. But in the end, Earth chose to fight. Captain Li Ji-1 received her orders at dawn. She commanded the destroyer Brave Star, one of the newest ships in the fleet. Her crew was young. Her ship was fast. She had never fought a real battle. All ships, this is Admiral Park. The communication system crackled. The enemy will reach Mars in 6 days. We will meet them there. We will use the planet as cover. We will use the dust storms to hide our movements. We will hit them hard and fast. Make every shot count. Make every ship matter. G1 looked at her crew. Navigator Wang Junxiao was checking his instruments. Weapons officer Ru Daesong was loading the missile tubes. Engineer No Young-chul was running final tests on the engines. They were scared. She could see it in their eyes. Listen to me, she said. I know the odds. I know what we are facing. But we are not fighting for victory today. We are fighting for something bigger. We are fighting for the right to exist. We are fighting for every child on Earth who deserves a chance to grow up. Whatever happens out there, remember why we are here. Young Cho nodded slowly. We are here because we are human. Yes, Juwan said. And that is enough. The fleet gathered near Mars. 3,000 ships against 50,000. The red planet hung below them, its storms swirling like angry fists. In 6 days, the Armada would arrive. In 6 days, the battle for humanity would begin. Admiral Park stood on the bridge of the flagship Last Hope. He thought about his wife, who had died 10 years ago. He thought about his daughter, who worked in a hospital in Bizan. He thought about all the people he would never see again. Then he pushed those thoughts away. There was work to do. All hands, he said into the fleet communication channel. This is the Admiral. Prepare for battle. Whatever comes, we face it together. We are humanity, and we do not give up. Across 3,000 ships, crews answered with a single word. Never. The countdown began. 3 days passed. 3 days of constant fighting. 3 days of death. The human fleet had fallen back to Earth's orbit. Only 1,800 ships remained. They formed a defensive ring around their home planet. Behind them, 8 billion people watched the sky and waited. Admiral Park Tae-ho had not slept in 40 hours. His eyes were red. His body was tired. But his mind was still sharp. He stood in the command center, watching the battle maps change every minute. Report, he said. Colonel Beek Sumin's voice was hoarse. We lost another 200 ships in the last attack, Admiral. The Armada still has 40,000. They are wearing us down. Park nodded. He had expected this. The aliens were not stupid. After their first defeat, they had changed their tactics. Now they attacked in waves, never stopping, never resting. They were trying to exhaust the human fleet. And the weapon? Park asked. Dr. O'Hyre says she needs more time. The calculations are not complete. Park closed his eyes. Time. They were running out of time. On the other side of the battlefield, High Commander Velthos was growing impatient. The humans were still fighting. They had lost more than half their fleet, but they refused to surrender. They refused to die quietly. Why do they continue? He asked Riella. They must know they cannot win. Why do they keep fighting? Sub-Commander Riella had been studying the humans carefully. She had watched their tactics. She had listened to their communications. She was starting to understand them in ways that frightened her. They fight because they believe in something, Commander. They believe that survival is a right, not a gift. They believe that even if they lose, their resistance matters. That is illogical, perhaps, but it makes them dangerous. A species that does not fear death is very hard to kill. Velthus turned away. Send another wave. Double the numbers. I want this finished. The attack came like a storm. 8,000 Armada ships moved toward Earth, their weapons fired without stopping. The sky above the planet filled with light and fire. Captain Li Ji-1 flew her ship through the chaos. The Brave Star was damaged now. Half its weapons were gone. One engine was barely working, but it was still flying. She was still fighting. Enemy ships at 2 o'clock. Navigator Wang Jianxiu shouted, I see them. G1 pulled the ship hard to the left. Energy beams passed so close that the hull shook. Dasam, do we have any missiles left? Weapons Officer Rude Sam checked her console. 3. Only 3. Make them count. Dasam aimed carefully. She waited until the enemy ship was close. Then she fired. The missile hit the alien vessel's engine. It exploded in a ball of orange flame. 1 down, Dasam said. 2 missiles left. On Earth, Dr. O'Hyre worked in her laboratory. She was a small woman with glasses and messy hair. She had not eaten in 2 days. She had not slept in 3. But she was close. So close, the weapon was not really a weapon. It was a virus. Not for bodies, but for computers. The Armada ships were all connected to a central network. One computer system that controlled everything. If she could infect that system, she could shut down the entire fleet. The calculations must be perfect, she muttered to herself. One mistake, and it will not work. Her assistant, a young man named Park Junki, brought her coffee. Doctor, oh, you should rest. You are exhausted. Rest when I am dead, she said. Or when we win. Whichever comes first. The door opened. General Cho Myung-ki entered. He was covered in dust. His uniform was torn. He had been leading ground defense teams for the past day, destroying enemy soldiers that had landed on Earth. Doctor, oh, he said. How much longer? Hours, maybe less. I need data from an enemy ship. Their network codes. Without them, the virus will not spread properly. Myung-ki nodded. Then we get you those codes. He turned to his communication device. Sergeant Yoon Tae-young. I have a mission for you. Sergeant Yoon Tae-young was a simple man. He had grown up on a farm outside Daegu. He had joined the military because he wanted to protect people. He had never expected to fight aliens. Now he stood in a transport ship with 20 soldiers. They were flying toward a damaged Armada vessel. Their mission was simple. Get inside, find the computer core, and download the network codes. "This is probably suicide," one of his soldiers said. "You know that, right?" Tae-young checked his weapon. "Probably. But if it saves Earth, it is worth it." The transport ship landed in the enemy vessel's hangar. The doors opened. Tae-young led his team inside. The alien ship was dark and strange. The walls were smooth and cold. The air smelled wrong. They moved through corridors that twisted in ways that hurt their eyes. "Contact!" Someone shouted. Alien soldiers appeared. They were tall and thin, with gray skin and too many joints. They moved fast, faster than humans. But humans had something they did not. Humans were angry. Tae-young fired his weapon. The alien fell. He fired again. Another one dropped. His team spread out, covering all angles. They moved like they had practiced 1,000 times. "Computer cores ahead!" His scanner operator yelled. 200 meters. They pushed forward. More aliens came. More aliens died. But so did humans. One by one, Tae-young's team fell. When they reached the computer core, only 5 soldiers remained. "Download the codes," Tae-young ordered. "I will hold them off." He turned to face the corridor. Aliens were coming. Many of them. He raised his weapon and fired. He did not stop firing. Behind him, his soldiers worked on the alien computer. The codes were complex. The language was strange. But they figured it out. They always figured it out. That was what humans did. "Got it," someone shouted. "We have the codes." Tae-young smiled. Then an alien weapon hit him in the chest. He fell. "Sergeant." His soldiers screamed. "Oh," Tae-young said. His voice was weak. "Get those codes to Doctor. Oh, save Earth. That is an order." His soldiers ran. They made it back to the transport. They flew back to Earth. The codes were delivered. Sergeant Yoon Tae-young died on an alien ship, far from home. But his mission was complete. Dr. Ohiri received the codes. Her hand shook as she entered them into her computer. "It works," she whispered. "The virus will spread." She called Admiral Park. "Admiral, the weapon is ready. But there is a problem." "What problem?" "The virus needs to be uploaded directly to the central network node. The node is on the enemy flagship. Someone has to get close enough to plant it." Park was silent for a long moment. "How close?" "Inside the ship. Inside the command center." It was impossible. The enemy flagship was protected by thousands of ships. No one could reach it. No one could survive long enough to plant the virus, but they had to try. "I will find volunteers," Park said. "Admiral," Hyrie said softly, "thank you for everything you have done." Park looked out at the battlefield. More ships were dying. More heroes were being made. "Thank me when we win, Doctor. We are not finished yet." He turned to his officers. "I need 200 ships. The fastest we have. The bravest crews. We are going to punch through the Armada and reach their flagship." No one hesitated. No one asked questions. 200 ships volunteered in seconds. Captain Lee Ji-won was the first. "My ship is damaged," she said, "but it still flies. I will lead the assault." Park looked at her for a long moment. She was young. She had her whole life ahead of her. But she was also a soldier. And soldiers did what needed to be done. "Then it is yours, Captain. Lead them well." Ji-won saluted. "We will not fail you, Admiral." The assault force gathered. 200 ships against 40,000. The odds were insane. The mission was impossible. But they were human, and impossible had never stopped them before. The 200 ships gathered at the edge of Earth's defensive line. They were the fastest ships humanity had. The smallest. The most agile. Each one was loaded with enough weapons to fight for hours and enough fuel to fly for days. Captain, Li Yi-1 stood on the bridge of the Brave Star. Her ship was damaged, but still functional. Her crew was tired, but still determined. They had survived every battle so far. Now they faced their hardest mission yet. "All ships, this is Captain Li," she said into the communication system. "You know our mission. We have to reach the enemy flagship. We have to get our soldiers inside. And we have to plant the virus that will destroy their network. The odds are against us. The enemy will try to stop us. Many of us will not survive. But if we succeed, we save Earth. We save everyone." She paused. The communication channel was silent. Every ship was listening. "I am not going to lie to you. This might be a one-way trip. But I believe in this crew. I believe in this fleet. And I believe that humanity was meant for more than extinction. Today, we prove it. Are you with me?" The response was immediate. Every ship answered at once. "We are with you." G1 smiled. "Then let us fly." The assault force launched. 200 ships racing toward 40,000 enemies. It looked like madness. It probably was. High Commander Velthos watched them come. His 4 eyes blinked in confusion. What are they doing? Those ships are too small to break our lines. They will be destroyed in minutes. Sub-Commander Riella studied the human formation. They are moving in a strange pattern, Commander. Spreading out and then coming together. I cannot predict their path. It does not matter. Kill them all. The Armada opened fire. Thousands of weapons targeted the small human ships. Energy beams cut through space. Missiles flew in every direction. But the human ships were not where the weapons expected them to be. Navigator Wang Junxiu flew the Brave Star through the chaos. His hands moved without thinking. He dodged left. He dodged right. He flew through explosions that should have killed them. "How are you doing that?" Da Sam asked. "I do not know," Junxiu admitted. "I am just flying." G1 watched her navigator work. He was in a state beyond normal focus. His mind and body were perfectly connected. He was not thinking about flying. He was flying. "All ships, follow the Brave Star," she ordered. "Copy our movements exactly." The assault force moved as one. They twisted and turned through the enemy fleet. Ships exploded around them, but the formation held. They were getting closer to the flagship dot on the Divine Judgment. Velthos was losing patience. "How are they still alive?" "We have 40,000 ships." "Kill them." "We are trying, Commander," Riella said. "But they move too fast. Our targeting systems cannot lock onto them." "Then do it manually." "Use your eyes." Riella nodded and sent the order. The Armada's automated systems went offline. Individual gunners took control. Alien eyes tracked the human ships. For a moment, it worked. Human ships started dying. 20 fell. Then 30. Then 50. But then something strange happened. The human ships adapted. They changed their pattern. They started flying in ways that made no sense. Loops and spirals and sudden stops. The alien gunners could not keep up. Their brains were not wired for chaos. They needed order. They needed patterns. Humans did not. "They are through the outer defense." Riella shouted. "They are heading straight for us." Velthos watched the screens. Only 100 human ships remained. They had lost half their force. But they were still coming. Still fighting. Still refusing to die. "Impossible," he whispered Dot on the Brave Star. G1 could see the flagship now. It was huge. Bigger than anything she had ever seen. Its weapons were firing continuously, filling space with death. "We need to get our boarding team inside," she said. "Who has soldiers ready?" "The Iron Will has a team," Junxiu reported. 20 soldiers. But they will need a distraction. Ji-Wan nodded. Then we give them one. She turned to Desam. How many missiles do we have left? 2. Fire them at the flagship's main weapon array. Make them look. Desam launched both missiles. They flew toward the flagship, drawing the attention of every enemy gun. The iron will moved in close. Its hangar doors opened. A small shuttle launched toward the flagship. They are away, Jinseo said. The boarding team is in. The shuttle landed in the flagship's hangar. The doors opened. 20 human soldiers rushed out, weapons firing. Leading them was Lieutenant Kang Dae-soo. He was young, only 25, but he had proven himself in every battle. He carried the virus device in his pack. Their mission was simple: reach the command center and plant it. Move fast, he told his team. We do not have much time. They fought through the alien ship, corridor by corridor, room by room. Aliens came at them from every direction. Some of the soldiers fell, but they kept moving. Dae-soo reached a junction. 2 paths. His scanner said the command center was to the left, but there were more enemies that way. We go left, he decided. Stay close. They pushed forward. More aliens died. More humans died. When they reached the command center doors, only 8 soldiers remained. Plant charges, Dae-soo ordered. We blow our way in. The doors exploded. The command center was revealed. It was vast, filled with screens and consoles and alien officers. At the center stood High Commander Velthos himself. He turned to face the humans. His 4 eyes were wide with shock. How did you get in here? This is impossible. Dae-soo raised his weapon. We are human. Impossible is what we do. He ran toward the main console. Aliens tried to stop him. His remaining soldiers covered him, sacrificing themselves so he could complete the mission. Dae-soo reached the console. He pulled out the virus device. His fingers found the connection port, but then he saw the problem. The device needed a manual trigger. Someone had to hold the button for 30 seconds while the virus uploaded. After that, the console would explode. Whoever held the button would not survive. I will do it, said a voice behind him. Dae-soo turned. Captain Lee Ji-won stood there. She was bleeding from a wound on her head. Her uniform was torn, but her eyes were clear. Captain? How did you? My ship was hit. I ejected and followed your shuttle. She took the device from his hands. Go, get your team out. I will finish this. No, I cannot leave you here. Ji-won smiled at him. It was a sad smile, but also a proud one. Someone has to do it, Lieutenant, and I am the captain. This is my responsibility. She pushed him toward the door. Tell Admiral Park that I did my duty. Tell my crew that I love them. Now go. Dae-soo wanted to argue. He wanted to stay, but he was a soldier. He followed orders. He ran. Ji-won turned back to the console. She inserted the device. Her finger found the button. Velthos was screaming orders. His officers were panicking. The command center was chaos. Ji-won ignored all of it. She pressed the button. The upload began. 10 seconds. 20 seconds. Velthos ran toward her. Stop her? Stop her now. 25 seconds. An alien soldier raised his weapon. 30 seconds. The upload was complete. The console exploded. Ji-won was thrown backward. Everything went dark. On the divine judgment, alarms started screaming. The virus was spreading. Every system was failing. Across the entire Armada, ships lost connection to the central network. Their coordination collapsed. Their weapons went offline. Ships crashed into each other. Engines failed. The perfect formation became chaos. Admiral Park saw it from his command center. His eyes went wide. It worked. She did it. The network is down. He grabbed the communication system. All ships. This is Admiral Park. The enemy network has been destroyed. Attack now. Attack with everything you have. The remaining human fleet surged forward. 1,200 ships against a confused and broken enemy. It was not a fair fight, but neither was anything else about this war. The tide had turned, and humanity was not finished yet. The Armada was falling apart. Without their central network, the alien ships could not coordinate. They could not communicate properly. They could not fight as one. 40,000 individual vessels became 40,000 separate problems. Ships crashed into each other. Weapons fired at friendly targets. Engines exploded without warning. The perfect order of the Galactic Armada had become perfect chaos. Admiral Park Taiho led the counterattack. His voice rang out across the fleet. All ships target their command vessels first. Without leadership, they will break. The human fleet moved like hunters. They picked off enemy ships one by one. They used asteroids as cover. They used debris as shields. They fought with everything they had. On the damaged flagship Divine Judgment, High Commander Velthos watched his empire crumble. Half his bridge crew was dead. His systems were failing. His fleet was dying. How? He whispered. How did primitives defeat us? Sub-Commander Riella was still alive, barely. She was bleeding from a wound on her shoulder, but she was standing. I tried to warn you, Commander. These are not primitives. They are survivors. They have survived ice ages and plagues and wars. They survived their own worst nature. They will survive us too. They got lucky. That is all. Riella shook her head. No, luck is random. What they did was planned, calculated. They knew exactly how to hurt us. They studied us. They found our weakness, and they exploited it. What weakness? We depend on order, on structure, on coordination. Take that away, and we are helpless. But humans do not need those things. They can function in chaos. They thrive in it. She looked out at the battlefield. Human ships were everywhere, destroying her people. We made a mistake, Commander. We thought humans were weak because they were different from us. But their differences made them strong. Velthos said nothing. There was nothing to say. In the wreckage of the command center, Captain Li Gi-1 opened her eyes. She was alive. Barely. Her body was broken. Her blood was everywhere. But she was breathing. She looked around. The console was destroyed. The virus device had worked. The mission was complete. She smiled. Then she closed her eyes again. Sergeant Moon Chang-woo found her 30 minutes later. He had led a rescue team from the surface. They had fought through the dying flagship, searching for survivors. Captain Lee, he shouted when he saw her. She is alive. Get the medics. They carried her out carefully. The flagship was falling apart around them. Explosions shook the corridors, but they did not leave her behind. Humans never left their people behind. Outside, the battle was ending. The Armada was retreating. 30,000 ships had been destroyed or disabled. The remaining 10,000 were running. They fled toward deep space, leaving their wounded behind. Velthos was among them. His flagship had escaped barely. He stood on his damaged bridge and watched Earth grow smaller in his screens. This is not over, he said. We will rebuild. We will return. We will... Commander, Riella interrupted. A message from the Galactic Council. Velthos accepted the transmission. The holographic faces of 12 species appeared before him. High Commander Velthos, the lead council member, spoke. Your campaign against Earth has failed. The Armada has suffered losses that will take centuries to recover. The Council has decided. The war against humanity is over. We will not send more ships. We will not continue this fight. Velthos stared at them. You are abandoning us? Abandoning the mission? The mission was to eliminate a threat before it grew too powerful. But the threat is already powerful. Humanity has proven itself. They are not primitives to be exterminated. They are a species to be respected, perhaps even feared. Another council member spoke. Ambassador Torvik of the Neutral Syndicate has made a proposal. He suggests we offer Earth a place in galactic society, a trade partnership, a peace agreement. The council has voted in favor. Velthos could not believe what he was hearing. You want to make peace with them? After what they did to us? Because of what they did to you, the first council member corrected. Any species that can defeat the Galactic Armada deserves our respect. We would rather have them as friends than enemies. The transmission ended. Velthos stood alone on his bridge. Everything he had worked for was gone. Everything he believed was wrong. Riella spoke quietly. Perhaps this is better, Commander. Perhaps we can learn from them. They have something we do not. Something that makes them survive when they should die. What is that? Hope, Riella said. They have hope. Even when everything is lost. Even when the odds are impossible. They believe that tomorrow will be better than today. We have never understood that feeling. Velthos was silent for a long time. Then he turned and walked away. On Earth, the celebrations began. The war was over. Humanity had survived. Against all odds, against all expectations, they had won. Admiral Park stood on a balcony in Seoul. The city was damaged, but still standing. Lights sparkled everywhere. People were singing in the streets. Children were laughing. General Cho Myung-ki stood beside him. We did it, old friend. We actually did it. No, Park said softly. They did it. The soldiers, the pilots, the engineers and scientists, the ordinary people who refused to give up. They saved us. Myung-ki nodded. What happens now? Now we rebuild. We grow stronger. We prepare for whatever comes next. Because there will always be something next. Dr. Oh-hai rejoined them. She looked exhausted but happy. Admiral, Captain Lee Ji-won is out of surgery. She will recover. They are calling her the hero of Earth. Park smiled. She is. They all are. He looked up at the sky. The stars were visible now. Somewhere out there, other species were watching. Other civilizations were wondering about the humans who had done the impossible. Send a message to the Galactic Council, Park said. Tell them we accept their offer of peace. Tell them we are ready to join galactic society. But also tell them this. Humanity will never be conquered. Humanity will never surrender. We will work with anyone who treats us as equals. We will fight anyone who tries to destroy us. That is who we are. He turned to his friends. Now, let us go celebrate. We have earned it. 3 months later, Captain Lee Ji-won walked through the halls of the rebuilt Defense Fleet headquarters. She moved slowly. Her body was still healing, but she was alive. That was more than she had expected. Admiral Park met her at his office door. Captain, it is good to see you on your feet. Thank you, Admiral. It is good to be on my feet. They sat together by the window. Earth looked beautiful from here, blue and green and full of life. The Council has sent their first ambassadors, Park said. They want to learn about us. They want to understand how we won. G1 smiled. What will you tell them? The truth. We won because we are human. Because we do not know how to quit. Because every time we get knocked down, we get back up. Because we fight for each other, even when it costs us everything. He looked at her. You almost died on that flagship. You knew you probably would not survive. Why did you do it? G1 thought about the question. She thought about her crew, her ship, her planet, her people. Because it needed to be done, she finally said. And because I knew that if I failed, someone else would try. That is what humans do. We keep trying. We never stop. Park nodded. The galaxy learned that lesson the hard way. Yes, they did. They sat in comfortable silence for a while. Then G1 spoke again. When can I get back to my ship? Park laughed. Your ship was destroyed, Captain. Then give me a new one. There is still work to do. Park smiled at her. The same fire that had won the war was still burning in her eyes. It was burning in all of them. The human fire. The fire that never went out. Report to the shipyard tomorrow, he said. Your new command is waiting. G1 stood and saluted. Thank you, Admiral. Thank you, Captain. For everything. She walked out. Park watched her go. Then he turned back to the window and the stars beyond. The galaxy would never forget what happened here. They would tell stories about the humans who stood against impossible odds. The humans who fought when they should have surrendered. The humans who won when they should have lost. And somewhere out there, other species were watching. Other civilizations were wondering, what would humanity do next? The answer was simple. Whatever was necessary. Whatever it took, because they were human. And that was enough.